everyone, thank you for clicking on my video and welcome to my channel. My name is Melissa, I'm 27 and I am a nursing student. I'm in a BSN program and this is my third degree. In this video, I want to go over what steps you need to take in order to go back to school for nursing. So this can apply to you if you already have a degree in something else and you want to go back to school to get a degree in nursing, or if you don't have a degree and you just want to go back to school for nursing. So the first step is to figure out what license and or degree you are hoping to attain by going back to school. So not every nurse has a degree. There are licensed practical nurses, LPNs, and then there are registered nurses, RNs. LPNs do not have to go back to school to get a degree. RNs need to go back to school to get a degree, whether that be an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or a master's degree. The pros of getting an associate's degree is that it's typically more affordable than getting a bachelor's degree. The pros of going back to school to get a bachelor's in nursing is that most areas prefer nurses to have their BSN, and some areas are starting to require it. So I am in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia metropolitan area, and most hospitals in my area are phasing out of using associate degree nurses. So if they already have ADNs, I'm just gonna say ADN for associate's degree, BSN for bachelor's degree, MSN for master's degree. So in my area, most hospitals are requiring nurses to have their BSN. So most hospitals in my area are not hiring nurses unless they have their BSN. So they're not hiring LPNs, they're very rarely hiring ADNs, and nurses that they have on staff that are ADNs, they are giving them, most hospitals, not all, but a lot of hospitals in my area are requiring their ADN nurses to go back to school and get their BSN. And the pros of going back to school and getting an MSN is that it could be a great option for you if you already have a degree in something else. So there are these new programs or newer programs popping up that are called like entry-level master's degrees. So if you have a bachelor's degree in something else, it can be completely unrelated. It could be like art or history. As long as you have a bachelor's in something else, you are eligible to like start getting your prerequisites and applying to a master's degree in nursing. It's considered entry-level master's degree in nursing. So you would skip over your BSN, you get your MSN, and you take the NCLEX and you become an RN. The pro of becoming an LPN, a licensed practical nurse, is that these programs are typically more affordable than the other options and they're quicker than other options. You can get your LPN, I believe, in as little as 11 months in some areas. So once you figure out what license you want to attain and what degree you want to get, you can move on to step number 2, which is to start researching schools. So one of the most frustrating things that I have encountered during my journey like thus far with nursing school and everything was finding out that each school and each program had different entrance requirements. So some schools require you to take health while others don't. Some schools require you to take chemistry before applying to the program, while others don't make it a requirement to get in, but you have to take it once you're already in the program. Some programs require you to only take anatomy and physiology 1 before applying, while other schools make it so that you have to take both 1 and 2 before applying. And then some schools require the TEAS, which is an entrance exam, while other schools require the HESI, which is another entrance exam that's very similar. It's the same concept, but they're just 2 different exams. So my biggest advice when looking at nursing schools and applying to nursing schools is to apply to multiple schools. So figure out what your top schools are, see what their requirements are so that you don't waste time taking any unnecessary courses. It's also really important to know ahead of time if you're going to be taking the HESI, the TEAS, or if you're going to have to budget and study for both, because your top schools, like one top school requires the TEAS while one top school requires the HESI. You need to make an informed decision if you are only going to apply to schools that require the HESI, or you're only going to apply to schools that require the TEAS, or it's not a deal breaker for you and you don't mind studying for both exams and paying for both exams. For me, just because of my life and just because I had other things going on, it seemed like a lot for me to prepare for both the HESI and the TEAS. So I got to a certain point where I decided that I was only going to look at schools in my area that required the HESI exam. So I studied for the HESI exam, I took the HESI exam, and I limited myself, but for my own sanity, I just didn't want to take 2 entrance exams. So step 3 is to map out your prerequisites. So I just used a regular pen and paper and literally wrote down all of the prerequisites that I needed to take and in what order I had to take them. This is really great, like for encouragement purposes and like if you're goal driven, because it can let you know exactly when you'll be eligible to apply for nursing school, and then you can kind of map out to figure out when you would be anticipated to be done with nursing school and have your degree. It's also really important to do this because some schools actually require prerequisites to the prerequisite. So say that you're applying to a nursing program and they require microbiology. So you figure out, great, I need to go figure out where I can take a microbiology course. You may go to a school thinking you'll just be able to register for microbiology, and then that school will tell you that there is a prerequisite to get into microbiology. So another part of this is to know where you want to take your prerequisites. So if you are looking at a four-year university nursing program, that university may offer the prerequisites that you need to take, but it may be offered at an expensive rate. Whereas you may have a community college that's a few miles away from you that offers those same prerequisites and you could take them at a fraction of the cost. So if you have that luxury and if money is something that is an issue for you, that's definitely something that you want to map out. Figure out which schools in your area are offering the prerequisites that you need and go there to take it. Step 5 is to prepare for the HESI and or to prepare for the TEAS. So the HESI and the TEAS are the two major entrance exams that most nursing schools require. These two exams are similar, but they are different. They have different study materials. They do have different categories. So it's important to do your research on both of them. So it's important to know, one, what schools are your top choice, which entrance exam those schools require, and more importantly, what score they require. So it's not enough for you just to take the exam, of course. For most of these schools, they're looking for a certain score. So for some schools, they will not even look at your application if you score below a certain score on these exams. For other schools, they don't necessarily care that you hit a certain score. They look at their pool of applicants. So if their pool of applicants have high scores, you're going to make sure that you need to top that. So there's a way to see like the average scores of acceptance and stuff like that. You can also reach out to advisors in nursing programs and see what score they're looking for. Some schools also look at weighted averages. So like the school that I ended up going to, certain categories of the HESI were graded higher than others. So for me, that was really good because I'm great at English and grammar actually weighed heavier than the math section. So it's important to know which sections are weighted the heaviest, and that way you can gear your studying towards that. So if you're looking at a school where math and science are weighted the heaviest, you're going to want to focus more on math and science when you're studying for those exams than like English or grammar or reading comprehension. So step 4, you're going to want to meet with an advisor. So this step does not require you to meet with an advisor in person, especially with everything going on with COVID. You can even like call the school, you can email an advisor. A lot of schools like allow you to set up an appointment with an advisor so that you can ask them questions. Some important questions would be how much money it is each term. Do not feel shy to talk about money. It is a very, very important aspect of nursing school. Don't feel shy. Don't think that they'll think that you're cheap. You need to know what you're going into. You need to know which program is the most expensive, which program accepts certain loans, certain grants. You can ask for the student to teacher ratio to make sure that you're not going to be in large class sizes. If you're not able to find this information online, you can also ask the advisor what the NCLEX pass rate is for the program, because you really do want to look at schools that have a high NCLEX pass rate. I know that if you have applied to nursing school before and gotten denied, or if you know people that have applied to nursing school before and gotten denied, your main focus may just be getting into any school that will take you, but it really is important to see what their NCLEX pass rate is, because even if they do accept you, even if they do accept like a lower GPA, low HESI score, low TEAS score, if you look at their NCLEX pass rate and a large number of their nursing students are not passing the NCLEX, or they're not passing it on the first couple of tries, that is a huge red flag that they're not going to prepare you, one, for the exam, which you need to pass in order to get your license, and 2, they're not going to properly prepare you for the real world. Like, it really is an indication of how well they're preparing their students. Also ask the advisor what advantages you may have. So if you already have another degree, that may count in your favor. If you already have a job that is somewhere in healthcare or at a certain hospital, if they partner with certain hospitals, that could also be in your favor when it comes to acceptance. Or at the very least, if they partner with certain hospitals, that could also be in your favor when it comes to paying for nursing school. You may be able to get a discount, or you may be able to be a part of some type of reimbursement program. And the final step is to apply. So once you have all of your prerequisites done, once you've met with an advisor, once you've asked all of your questions, once you've done all of your research, you've taken your HESI or your TEAS, you've gotten everything evaluated, then you can go ahead and apply to nursing school. Make sure that you get all of your paperwork together, all of your transcripts together. Make sure that you know exactly when application deadlines are so that you can get yours in super early. Make sure that you have any references together that you may need. Get all of your money together. Applications are not free. They can range anywhere from around like 30-ish to I think like $120, but just it's different for every area. So know how much money you need to apply, how much money you're going to need in order to collect your transcripts from any previous schools or any previous programs that you're in, and good luck. Hopefully this helps you get started. I wish everybody good luck. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like videos like this, please let me know. If you want to just connect with me, if you have any questions, if you are also a nursing student, I would love to connect with you. Feel free to message me or private message me, whatever it's called. And I will see you in the next video.